Hello everybody, I'm back with another video. I know, been a couple of weeks, but I said I'd get something new up soon. So I've had a lovely big box arrive through the post, and of course a great shadow of the side of the box. Yeah, box arrived in the post day before yesterday. And I wanted to make a video the day before yesterday, but the box turned up in the post quite late in the afternoon. It was getting on for evening. It wasn't even that sunny that day anyway, so okay, we'll leave it till the next day. So then why didn't I film this yesterday? Well, my niece came round, right, for a visit. And if there's one thing you need to know about my niece, she's 2 years old. So, hey, you know, no filming yesterday, right? So I get to do it today, while I have the house to myself for a little while. Okay. First thing first, obviously, full disclosure, I didn't get any of this for free, paid for it with my own money. Yes, I did back a Kickstarter project, so, you know, I'm predisposed to like what I see. I liked the stuff when I saw the concept art, liked the stuff when I saw the early sculpts. You know, I gave feedback, offered suggestions, as did many people in fact. And yeah, in the end I got a nice big box full of stuff come through the post. So these are the Shieldmaidens from Shieldwolf. I'll be pulling out the sprues later for us to have a proper look at. I'm aware that my camera is a tiny memory card, so I'm going to have a kind of 11.5 minute limit on the video. So let's go through the box, shall we? One thing is missing, unfortunately. Yeah, one thing. My Dragon Rider. Where's my Dragon Rider, Shieldwolf? I'm waiting for my Dragon Rider that should have been included in this box to go with the dragon I got from a previous project. Right, so we got a nice little thank you card from the company, picture of one of the miniatures, and announcement for an upcoming project. Interestingly, there's going to be science fiction variants on the upcoming figures, which a lot of people might not have realised, because it was discussed and it sounded like they weren't going to do it, but it seems like they might now. So I'll move that aside for a minute. So first off, we have lots of character figures, bases. Under there are some bases, freebooter bases actually, so these square ones with a hollow recess in the middle, which unfortunately they've all gone on lumped in the middle. Though, if I just pull these apart a little, you should no, that's hiding as well. Right. There. So there's a hollow centre for the typical freebooter base inserts, which come with all freebooter figures, but other companies don't really manufacture very often. So I might have a word with Ben from Black Cat Bases and see if he can provide something funky for them. Also, base size is a bit tricky, because, you know, basically we can put the girls on any size bases we want, and they fit on 20mm bases, which is your typical standard humans, dwarfs, elves type bases, unless of course you old school rack 'em and play lots of confrontation, where 25mm is the smallest base size you know exists, because you don't do normal size miniature bases. But for most people, normal size 20mm, 25 is for like orcs, beastmen, chaos warriors, that kind of thing. Now these are big girls, they probably fit better on 25s. They can fit on 20s, although one of the bodies will be a little bit of a tight squeeze. I'm gonna glue a few together and then, you know, dry fit them on a few bases, see how they rank up and see what my options are, because of course I'm probably going to use these for Varangur for Kings of War, who are all on 20mm bases apart from 1 or 2 units who go on 25s, so I might be having to field units of like 3 deep, 4 wide instead of 5 wide, 4 deep, and then doing a bit of padding on unit bases to make things fit. So lots of sprues, right? Lots and lots of sprues. There's only 2 sprues, but lots of each sprue. We'll call one the command sprue because it's got the command pieces on, and we'll call the other one the infantry sprue. We'll get to those in a little bit. And then here, bear riders. I'm probably going to do a separate video on them because they are pretty amazing figures, to be honest. But also because I don't know I've got time in this video. Right, so what I'm going to do is move this box aside so I can get these two sprues out and talk through them briefly. Should have got the old paintbrush out, just have to use a finger. Right, one moment. And I'm using the sofa because this red throw has a nice contrast to the grey, because it would blur in with the blue carpet. I haven't got this set on close-up view, have I? Right, so up the top here we have cloaks and crossbows. Now, the Shieldmaidens are part of the Krumvaal Novel Alliance. The crossbows and cloaks are for the unit of hunters, well, huntresses, who go around the battlefield shooting at things and harassing things, generally being a nuisance, and the shields and close combat weapons are for the more regular warriors. Here we have bodies, and backs for the bodies. Most of the backs will fit with most bodies, although, you know, generally this one works with that body best, that body with this one with this one, and that one with that one. We have a load of shields. You'll notice the legs are integral to the bodies, but if I turn the sprue over, nice and slow there, you see we have holes on the back where the backs go, which, you know, you may wonder, why are the backs separate? Well, possibly just so the cloaks can go on, but also there seems to be two schools of thought for gluing together a two-part body with arms. You know, some people will glue the body together, then put the arms in the holes. Some people will put the arms in half a hole on each side and then stick the other half of the body on while the glue's still drying. It tends to depend on how they were sculpted, which one's going to be best. I've got to kind of hurry a little because of the time. So down here we have some weapons, in fact all the weapons. We got axes, a ball and chain, swords, and a standard, a horn for your horn blower, a ridiculously big plank sword for a champion that I'm going to probably try and avoid using, but a nice champion cloak and a funky champion shield. Now, the ratio is 3 command sprues to 2 infantry sprues, and that's because the infantry sprues don't have weapon arms on. But I'll get to that in a moment. In fact, I'll just swap them around now. So, looking here at the infantry sprue, first thing, this line. Everything above that line, up there, exactly the same as on the other sprue. So we just focus on the bottom part. So down here, we have a couple of heads with hoods for the cloaks. This is going to be horribly out of focus, isn't it? And then 2 bodies. And these bodies are a little controversial, right? Because these were originally core bodies that were going to be part of the sprue. And then a few people complained that, you know, they hadn't covered their tummies up. And fair enough, if they're going to fight in dangerous areas, you know, tummies kind of got lots of squishy, important, vital organs in it that need to be looked after. So, some extra armoured bodies were put on the sprues. Now, also we have a lot of heads down here, and I have a few concerns about the heads. This probably isn't going to come out at all. No, that's all blurry. Yeah, I might have to do a close-up on the heads later on at some point. But so my concern with the heads is there's lots of nice, interesting different hairstyles, and many are kind of blowing about all over the place in the wind, generally off to the left, so at least the wind is in a consistent direction. But regarding the heads of the more manageable, believable hairstyles, I wish they'd kept the facial expressions from the concept artwork, where they looked confused, to be honest, and quite endearing in a way. Now, the hair itself does suffer. There are a few instances, like the back of this head here, where the hair is practically smooth. The detailing of the grain of the hair on various heads is a bit shallow, and you can mask that with paint and shading, but it would have been nice if there was a little more definition on the hair of some of the heads. Not all round, generally they're good sculpts, but there's a couple of points where the detail on the hair could be a little deeper. Now, regarding these two sprues, as I can see I'm running low on time, I've already marked out my bits for the first girl who's going to be assembled. It's going to be that body, that